It's that time of year again when we set the table, bring family over, and other stuff, including stuffing. But what's a holiday without a little terror, Pilgrim? Thanksgiving is a 2023 American slasher film directed by Eli Roth from a screenplay by Jeff Rendell. After a Black Friday with deals to die for, the town of Plymouth, Massachusetts is still reeling a year later. Amidst the protest and seasonal cheer, a man walks amongst them. A man with an axe to grind and a meal to prepare.
Cover that body! Cover that up!
Who is this killer? Why is he after our cast? And who will be able to walk away when the turkey is carved? Now, this film may sound familiar to some of you. Rewinding the clock back to 2007, we have the Rodriguez-Tarantino collab for Planet Terror and Death Proof. Supporting these films were a handful of fake movie trailers, all going for that grindhouse styling. Amongst them was a trailer by Eli Roth called Thanksgiving. More than a bit has been altered from the original idea to what we were served, but most key scenes have been carried over. I mean, Hobo with a Shotgun saw some changes, and honestly, it came out a really fun film. Real question is, when the hell are we getting Werewolf Women of the SS? Am I the only one who really wants to see that movie? Ah well, let's say grace and get the carving. This is Thanksgiving. Opening up on a crisp fall night. We stalk in POV up to the house. Hold on. I must have popped in Halloween. Oh, it's not Michael, it's Sheriff Eric Newland, played by Patrick Dempsey. Not that Dempsey. He's here for some good eats, and the additional compliments aren't half bad.
Guy in a uniform who knows how to bake. Have a feeling you're not going to be single for long. Come
We bounce between two houses. Mitch, played by Ty Olson, works at the local Wright Mart, while Thomas Wright, played by Rick Hoffman, owns the business. But damn it, there's Black Friday deals and the store needs help, so Mitch has to suit up and head out. Meanwhile, Thomas's daughter, Jessica, played by Nell Verloc, heads out with her group of friends. Okay, there's a lot of characters who will be important later, so I'll knock out a bunch now and get the remainder later on. Inside the body bag mobile, we have Scuba, played by Chris Sandiford, who is with Eula, played by Jenna Warren. Evan, played by Tommaso Sinelli, is with Gabby, played by Addison Rae. And finally, Jessica's boyfriend Bobby, played by Jalen Brooks. That is going to be so many bodies to identify later. Anyways, did I mention it's Black Friday?
Hey, Bon Jovi, let me get the back of the fucking line, okay?
Suck my dick! We were here first!
Hey, everybody, just fucking calm down.
I did not realize this was a documentary. Remembering that his phone got smashed in a fight off-screen with a rival school footballer, Evan and company head off to the Wright Mart. But waiting in this mob? Please! Ryan, played by Milo Manheim, barely has any time to flirt with Jessica. Taking the employee entrance, look, it's that rival footballer. And look, Amanda, played by Gina Gerson, has shown up to give her husband some dinner. And she brought along Eric. Now inside, our band of miscreants show us that they've never played Left 4 Dead, because they alert the horde. Security flees, and Mitch is trapped outside with the mob.
You have to open the door! You have to get the Mitch!
Yeah, no, I would rather be fired on the spot than open any of those doors. People have died in these situations. Speaking of dying. All sorts of madness breaks out. The high ground isn't even safe as the mob rushes in. People get cut, Bobby's arm is broken, and Amanda is domed and scalped. I honestly can't tell if what I'm seeing is a black comedy or a historical reenactment. Either way, Eric has had enough and does the only thing he can do. A year later, and the massacre has gotten crazy views. Now people protest, and Mitch is an outspoken critic, blaming the Wright family for every death on that night. But hey, they paid for some random kid's college. Surely opening up again next year will have no problems. Also mysteriously, the security cameras weren't recording anything. But hey, there's a new officer in town, and he's all for at least trying out the festivities of Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I can get used to it.
Just gonna come right out and say, they never bothered trying to set him up as a possible red herring. He's in the film. He just doesn't do much. Speaking of that, Jessica and company are having fun at the fair, but someone keeps tagging them in re-uploads of the massacre, and what's more, the The family commercial has been destroyed by an unknown vandalizer. What's even more? They stole the axe off the wall.
Come to Right Mark, where we slash prices without a fucking axe!
All of this puts Jessica at odds with her father, as she doesn't want the store to open this year, acting as if nothing had happened. Also, she doesn't like Thomas's trophy wife, Kathleen, played by Karen Cleach, but she does like Ryan, who she's now dating, and he's winning everyone over with tickets to the game. But that's not important. It's been almost 10 minutes since the cold open. We need some human cranberry sauce to be running. Lizzie is perfect as the killer dunks her in dishwater, then slams her up against the freezer door. Tearing herself free, he pursues and shows he's not just a slasher. If she was running, does this make it a run and hit? Also, I'm not really sure how she broke apart. Just like everyone isn't sure what is going on when her bottom half is found. Mounted. I will say, I wish they gave us more than a split second to read the killer's witty remarks each time he tags the cast. There isn't much anyone can do. Thomas says he's keeping the store open and just hiring some more security. Meanwhile, the local cops are handicapped by the killer's choice of attire. But hey, look who just happened to show up. It's Bobby, somewhat healed and now working for his family business. Come along, Red Herring. Let's walk and talk about Kathleen being strange the night of the massacre.
She went into the security room and deleted all the footage.
Luckily, there's backup of the footage in her dad's office, but that isn't important. We need to check in on the coward guard who ran. He's ready to run some more, but someone is in his house. Someone is in the room. Someone is under the table. Also, it should be noted that Eli Roth found the cat such a pleasant actor to work with, and the furball was so good, he named him Leonardo DiCaprio, though you probably recognize him by his real name, Tonic, and his role in 2019's Pet Sematary. Also, Manning, played by Tom Dillon, is fucking dead. So you got the idea of how this goes. Another post, another tagging, but hey, at least Jessica is watching the tapes, and it's revealed Ryan knew the trampled security guard. Though this is largely put aside when any of the evidence is presented. So as the film went on, I was trying to piece together who the killer must be while watching. The film manages to cross a lot of people off the list, if you're thinking practically. We can see the killer is white during Manning's death, but his build and stature puts him out of the range of most of the characters. At least those with actual motive. I won't say who it is here, but it was around this point where I was able to piece together who it likely was, though there's always the possibility of the film just saying fuck it, and swapping out the stuntman for the actor at the last minute. They do try to sow some drama between Ryan and Bobby, but if anything, having them so close and showing off the height difference writes Bobby pretty much out of the equation. But hey, enough talking about the details of the plot's mystery. The original trailer had a trampoline striptease, and we're gonna have one in this film. Just without titties, or the vaginal stabbing. But her boyfriend does get a much more gruesome death. Oh, and she's dead. And this killer must be checking the runtime because he quickly kidnaps Evan and Gabby before luring and chasing Jessica. I do enjoy the killer despite just hearing the remember the 5th of November speech whenever he's on screen. He's tough, but not Voorhees indestructible. He's more like Ghostface. You can fight back, but he's more than capable and typically the only one armed. And because he's going after Jessica, I wrote Ryan off as a suspect. Also, I hope you enjoyed Ryan because after a spat with Bobby, this is the last we see of him the entire film. Movie, I get you wanted a few possible suspects, but I don't think removing one from the film for absolutely no reason is going to help your mystery. At least they give a reason for Yulia leaving as her father takes her away to go to Florida.
He's just taking her to Florida?
I don't know. That's about as much of a conversation I've ever had with the guy.
Well, Scuba's had enough and it's time to get some proper guns from the semi-illegal gun merchant. He's got 4.4 Magnums, Desert Eagles.
McCarty, do you have any human-sized guns?
I mean, these are human-sized guns. Frankly, if an axe-wielding maniac is charging, I would appreciate the extra stopping power. Speaking of him, he's upgraded to the tranq gun from MGS2, minus the manual reloading. Showing up just in time, they fail to save the girl. Saw that coming. Now together, and desperate, a plan is hatched to have the parade and ambush the killer when they return the floats. So the day comes, and everyone is out putting on their best smiles. This parade was also a major part of the original trailer. Also, the gun guy gifts Jessica his dad's knife ring. In fact, all is going pretty well with anyone donning the mask and taken down. That is until... Yeah, you remember Mitch? I was wondering where the hell he was. Well, he's here now to protest the Wright family and make a big show of it in the middle of the parade. Also in the middle of the parade is a very scary clown. So through all the smoke grenades and screaming people, our killer is effectively able to capture several of the cast really easily. Did Tarantino stop by to direct a scene? So what follows is a rather lengthy portion of the film where we follow Kathleen trying to escape. She sneaks, dodges, and nearly makes it. What follows is a pretty brutal death as she is baked alive in the oven. Gathered around the table, the killer finally wishes to speak.
Dinner is served.
Also, Kathleen came out in a beautiful bronze. This was also in the fake trailer, and while the husband does vomit, her head isn't stuffed in the turkey, and the killer doesn't stuff the turkey. But hey, he's talking. It's time for some one-liners as he gets blunt with Evan.
No one appreciates subtlety anymore. To go viral, you really need to hit people over the head.
While this is going on, Jessica and Scuba manage to cut their binds with the knife ring. They do battle, managing to knock the killer off balance. But that axe is scary, and they must run, even when it gets stuck in the wall. Scuba is easily down, and the killer chases after Jessica. I see the Dead by Daylight self-revive patch isn't live yet. Nearly getting stuck on a fence, she is just able to get away. Stumbling to the float facility, she finds Eric laid out on the ground, and Bobby sneaking inside, dressed as the killer. So I'm supposed to believe the killer was chasing Jessica, then lost her, then drove all the way out here, and just beat the fuck out of Eric? Well, he's up now and ready to handle things, or at least scare Bobby off.
He's in there. I think I shot him.
So it's pretty clear Bobby was the killer, right? He just got shot off screen and ran away, all's good. Save for some random plant stuff being on Eric's shoes, the same plant stuff Jessica pulled out of her pants when she fell. So twist of twist, Eric is the killer. He brought Bobby here in the hopes of killing him and framing him as the killer. He just forgot there was a tire iron in the trunk. But when did he get Bobby? Even if he did get him before the meal, he still changed and drove up to the facility while Jessica was running through the woods. I mean, I had been suspecting him throughout the whole film. He was the only one with the build, skin, lack of injury, and motive to be doing all of this. What I didn't piece together was his exact motive. Amanda was about to leave Mitch, not just because she preferred Eric, but because she was pregnant with his child. I do like how this alters the meaning of the dialogue from the opening. It could be played off as just being super friendly, but it had just the right amount of flirt to it. He blamed the Wright family for the death. The waitress was one of the two buggies near the wife when she died, though he never went after the other chick. Good thing he's saying all of this in private, by the way. Imagine if this got out.
The service in here.
Stalking and chasing, Bobby is still here and they try to escape. Setting off an oxygen tank, they get into a truck and try to leave, but Eric secures the winch and approaches. Luckily, this truck was owned by that gun nut, and he had a blunderbuss complete with all one needs. Now, I'm a bit torn on if this would work. I suppose the metal could be heated enough from the gunpowder being ignited, but I'm not sure if it would actually be a ginormous fireball, or if it would even work. We need to bring back Mythbusters. So all's well that ends well, only no body, a scary firefighter, and the potential of a sequel next year. Or not. It has been 2 years since the film came out. Though there was apparently a sequel greenlit for 2025. Not sure what's going on with that though. But that was Thanksgiving. Premiering November 17th, 2023 on a $15 million budget, it would see a worldwide gross of $46 million, $553,280. The film would largely be done on location in Massachusetts, USA. However, the school segment and cold open were handled in Ontario, Canada. I'm not sure why, but okay. Overall, the film is fun, but it does have problems. The film's core mystery about who is the killer is alright. Like I said during the review, the process of elimination isn't particularly hard. Barely any of the cast fits the killer's build. What doesn't aid this film is the sheer number of the cast. There are so many, I started losing track as the film went on. There simply wasn't much screen time to suggest any of the red herrings. Mitch, for example, is barely in the film, then tries to play it off like he's the killer, but everything there is wrong. The film just forgets characters like Ryan exist. He leaves the film around the midpoint and we never see him again. Until the very end. There's attempts with Bobby, but his lack of height removes him from the running, so the characterization is slim and the mystery is lacking. However, a large cast can give us a large body count. The film has more than a few fun kills. It has some odd ones like the waitress. I'm still not sure how she broke in half, but the trampoline is a brutal kill. I still think they should have kept it more similar to how it was in the original though. So the characters are thin, the kills are fun, and the mystery is serviceable. This isn't the most mind-blowing slasher flick, but it does enough to stand out. I do recommend this film. I mean, when it comes to Thanksgiving horror, what choice do you really have? Gather around the table, fill a plate and hit play. Plenty of victims to carve this Thanksgiving.
There will be no leftovers!